sticky situation. Could go for something like the Zaya if you want to be able to avoid that public execution, but Varus does give you good poke. It allows the engage from the Kiana to be a little bit stronger. You've also got the Chain of Corruption for that extra CC.
For him. Could be looking towards BDD though.
Gonna run towards that middle lane. BDD needs to get the hell out of here. Chovy's on the chase. BDD flashes and face plants in the wall. Gen.G claim first blood.
And it's kind of a flip situation. This time it's KT trying to get access to that dragon.
Duro on that front line. The hook lands onto Peter. Kaz gets the root down. Piercing arrow again onto Duro as he falls low. He has to flash away. The knock back onto Chovy. Separates the fight. Drake secured by Gen.G. Double flash of the root still onto Ruler. Dokdam looking to put the arrows into the back of his enemy man. The Realm War back as Peter's getting onto that backline, but Gen.G. immediately turn and burn. But Canyon is the one who is aflame. Hero's entrance will not be a good exit for Chovy as now he needs to escape the clutches of KT. They've already lost two. Gen.G. trying to get Ruler out of here as the chase down towards the bottom side. Chovy against Kaz has to burn the flash, but finds him still. KT come out on the other side. How hype are KT feeling, right? Coming into this, as we see Peter look for the engage onto Duro, we'll get the trample down, the hook's gonna land as Kaz dives in. Supreme display of talent, the Nautilus falls first, but meanwhile the Crescent Guard from Cannon keeps him alive. Peter gets the knock up and a knock back. Ruler gets the shutdown though as two will fall. Gen.G bite back in the game.
Yeah, that was not the fight to go there. For KT, they try to full send it, but they're sending it onto Duro with Ruler just free firing on you. And Ruler gets both of those kills and a big shutdown off of Kaz. Plus, they're going to be able to get the grubs off the back of this as well. Ruler in prime position to be able to carry now. 1K up this early.
And it shows how quickly these games can swing. Like, we were literally in the middle of talking about how KT had a really good early game, and now the gold basically even, two neutral objectives to nil in favor of
out. The base just now coming in from Perfect, so there's no way you can contest. Gen.G gonna be able to grab this one, no problem. And they are the ones now with two early dragons here. It's going to be an Ocean Soul.
Backs away from the Herald, which will reset its patience in a moment. Chovy TPing in. The hook's going to land, though, as they look for Peter. Flashes in. Headbutt pulverized. Supreme display of talent as well, but only onto Chovy. The redemption comes out as Ruler. Arcane shifts forward. He wants part of this fight. Canyon with the Crescent Guard. Chain of Corruption will lock him up. And it missed times as they go in. Ruler able to pick up one. Another hook coming out from Duro. The depth charge on the back line into the taunt from Chovy. Gen.G rule the rift as KT can find nothing.
Gen.G showcasing their incredible team fighting here. That was just immaculate. Early force on the ult from Peter. They back off. They avoid Kaz on the re-engage. And then Ruler finds space on the side of the fight to go aggressive. Duro finds another hook. And Gen.G were just dancing around that fight perfectly.
And what goes up must come down as
already on his going towards his third item as Dokdam only sits on one. Perfect looking for the flank. The Drake begun. Hex flash forward. Canyon dives onto Peter. Riptail has been summoned towards the top side as they go in for the fight. And we see KT able to secure the Drake, but Peter now needs to retreat. Perfect looks towards the top side, trying to distract Canyon. Peter falling lower. Down comes the anchor and sends him into the depths. Gen.G find another. For KT, they got the Drake, and that's really all they wanted. Riptail charges in. Perfect matches it. Should be able to kill it off. Duro with a good hook away, but BDD still on the chase. Depth charge! Arcane shift! Mystic shot from Ruler, but into the Supreme display of talent as KT turn it around. Canyon forced away as they chase forward onto him. Perfect finds another. KT turn vision around it. Perfect looking for that flank. No wards where he is. Duro going in with the hook. Drake down to 6,000. Perfect still peeking his head out as they dive in. Canyon looking for the steal here, but it's Kaz that gets it. BDD forced to flash away. Here is Angels from Chovy in the pit. Keen diving forward. Ruler caught out by Perfect. Canyon falling lower as Kaz finds two. KT winning the fight on the bottom side, but the top side is all in favor of Keen. Ruler almost going down. Chovy still on the chase. Dokdam trying to get away. Perfect and Peter trying to protect him. The flash away from Dokdam. The taunt short from Chovy. Chovy falls. Only the top laners left alive, and Perfect.
Rush. It looks like a difficult approach, and KT, they're going back for the red buff to try to buy time, but that's been spotted. They're too late now, it feels like.
Kaz might look for the steal. Baron coming onto the rift, but Gen.G already secured the Articon. KT backing away.
Why Dokdam just playing around vision around that corner. Gets Ruler so incredibly low, they're threatening.
Gen.G have to back away. The risk of getting knocked up there the follow. They've got a single control ward, now a couple in that mid lane bush. Peter caught out with a hook once again as he has to flash away. Has the honey fruit to pop himself up as Ruler lands the damage across the wall. He couldn't see him. It was blind and Ruler finds his man. KT now a man down, can't defend. The Drake secured, so point for Gen.G.
Yeah, the problem is they're just going to go to Baron, I think, here, and they're just going to force your hand. Peter getting caught back-to-back fights. This time he doesn't have the ulti. And BDD and Perfect were pretty late to the fight, so Gen.G just walk through mid. They get the Dragon, they go to Soul Point, they take tier 1, and now they're going to put pressure here onto the Baron. And Peter's not up for 10.
Kaza is going to look for the steal. Ruler wisely standing on this side of the wall, now dashes in with that arcane shift. Perfect clears out a bit of vision. Kuz hasn't been seen here. Gen.G, the Baron down to 6.5k. Canyon and Ruler still on it. Kuz still looking for the steal. Perfect and BDD down towards the bottom side, distracting the rest of Gen.G. Kuz can jump in. The Winds of War from Chovy. Duo knocked up. Redemption out. Canyon almost falling as Kuz dives into the pit. There's no jungler there. Canyon goes in and he manages to land the smite. KT now on the back foot. Public execution from Keen, not quite connecting, and KT turn and burn. Peter's here for a little bit more. The hero's entrance won't be quick enough to save his support. Perfect diving onto that backline. Chovy falling lower. Keen forced away towards the top side. Chovy with a stopwatch. Down can't land. The piercing arrow through that. Flash away. The Realm Warp gets KT out, but Gen.G secure.
Being on the roller coaster, it never gets old. Ruler doing an incredible amount of damage in that fight, and now Gen.G, we've seen him in his position. Last time it was Kenyon going in too deep. They get a redo this time around.
BDD's pushing in a side lane. KT have already given up the ghost on this inhibitor and, well, at least the tower. Gen.G can push for more. Chovy's pushing in mid for that tier 2. The inhibitor will go down on the bottom side as KT look to defend their mid tower. BDD does have the TP. Chovy's a little bit isolated here. Ruler arcane shifts across to make sure.
Is that upcoming possibility for a Soul mid lane turret also will fall as rest of KT.
They haven't been able to get out on the map and reclaim vision. And Peter has been getting picked a number of times, and it could be a repeat.
Flash hook, immediately they look for Kaza, take out the jungler. Ruler finds the kill, and now Peter tries to flash away, tries to get to safety. KT will shepherd him back into the base, but Gen.G don't even need to turn towards that Drake yet. They can push for the tier 2 on the top side, they can push for the inhib tower on mid.
And Gen.G not wanting to repeat
like you're saying, you know, but then it was Canyon going too far. It was the fight getting turned around. This time, they basically get a read. Difficult for KT.
And that's kind of a flex from Dom, right? Like being up.
Peter's going. Immediately they dive into Chovy. They have the Chain of Corruption coming out as well. It's going to land the Torn, the Crescent Guard out as well from Canyon. Chovy falling lower. Perfect's on the flank. Lands a double knockup. Chovy needs to get out, and he will. A public execution slays the cow. Roast beef for Keen as he finds 2. Dogdam will follow. Canyon dives back in. Flashes away. Still has the Angel to bring him back to life. And now Keen can advance, and Kuz can do nothing but flash and a try to get himself out. Keen will chase for days, though. Kuz forced down towards this blue side jungle. KT lose the fight. Gen.G, do you stick or do you twist? It looks like Baron is their target.
Yeah, Kuz still going to stay around, but it's going to be incredibly difficult for him to get in the area. He's hoping he can find a miracle to get in that pit. I mean, he has the sweeper. He knows he's not spotted, but he is now.
Ruler jumps immediately onto him. He knows his job here. They don't need the damage on the Baron, just force Kuz away. Can't quite hit the Mystic shot. Perfect here, the TP in from BDD, another TP to follow it, as KT think perhaps we can take the fight after the big purple worm. Peter's here to join the fray, but Baron already for Gen.G. KT now back away. The Realm Warp used, True Shot barrage on Kuz, almost takes him out. And now Gen.G with the Baron can push in another TP.
Felt like at that point, position that generally Gen.G wouldn't lose from, as they are unrelenting, pushing on.
Ooh, Chain of Corruption comes out. Ruler with the Mercurial is going to cleanse away that slope. It was here that BDD managed to do it, but he doesn't have the same impetus to engage, doesn't have the same tools in his arsenal to get their inhib on the top side, taken by Gen.G. Now KT will put all 5 players to defending this mid lane wave that Chovy is going to begin to bring in. Gen.G though can still use the top side, knock up onto Keen, he dashes away. The route onto Juro with the Rune Prison, Perfect falling lower. Forced away by Ruler. Will be able to heal up in that passive. True Shot Rush dodged by Kuz, but not by Peter. A public execution onto the backline, the knockback onto Keen immediately. The Redemption coming out as well. Crescent Guard, BDD trying to get onto Juro, will find it. The Taunt onto Kuz, Keen dashing in, knocked back under the tower, but Ruler untouched. Canyon untouched. Chovy untouched, and Gen.G marching down mid for the win.
And you know Ruler is calling for that. Pentine comes right now. already picked up his double. KT though, they're gonna try and hold on. TP's gonna come in, Baron buff still for another 10 seconds.
Reset coming out from Chobi. He's finished a neat death cap. The Rabadons for that extra bit of damage. The Nexus Tower is falling. Ruler and Chobi take the first. Keen trying to get this wave in for the second. Perfect. Dogdam and Peter needs to try and defend, but Peter's already back in the base, just healing up on that fountain. The Nexus Tower falling lower. Ruler with a true shot. Barrage can still arcane shift away from the oncoming Rek'Sai. The Nexus Tower will be taken. Keen behind them. KT trying to defend, but they just don't have the wallets. Gen.G will answer the fight and go 1-1 in the series.
Gen.G battling back.